Okay, hi Priya, let's take a look at this set of essays from you. Okay, it's in red. Alright. Part-time jobs, let's see. Experts throughout the developed and developing world have debated whether students, you don't need an apostrophe here. Alright, it should just be plural students. So, whether students working in part-time jobs when studying have a negative impact on their future career or merely reduces the financial burden for those who cannot afford tuition fees. This essay will discuss both sides using examples from the UK government and Oxford University to demonstrate points and prove arguments. Okay, now, one thing that I want you to remember here is that the essay asks you something very specific. Do the benefits outweigh the disadvantages? And your introduction is now finished, but we don't know the answer to that question. I want the answer to that question very clear in your introduction, okay? So it's not enough to just tell me you're going to discuss both sides. You have to actually tell me, you have to respond to this command, whatever it is, okay? Let's move on. There is ample evidence that the part-time job, no, get rid of that. There is ample evidence that part-time jobs for students, again, no apostrophe here, have paved the way for reducing financial hardships. Okay, you need this expression. I understand that, you want to show some vocabulary here, but we really want to try to reduce some of these idiomatic expressions in our writing because they're just not really academic. These are great in speaking, but not such a good idea in an essay, okay? So, let's move on. Actually, let's not move on. Let's try it again. Correct it. So, there's ample evidence that part-time jobs for students during studies can reduce financial hardships. The central reason behind this is twofold. Firstly, education in recent times has become more expensive than ever before. Secondly, okay, before you move on to a secondly, back it up. All right, explain what you mean, support it, get into some detail. Don't just, say it and then move on to the next idea. Anytime you have an idea, you really need to back it up with some evidence, some support, some illustration, something. Okay. Secondly, through part-time work, students, okay, you have to stop using, this is not possessive. The student does not possess something. So, you keep doing this and it changes the meaning, it's distracting, it's hard to follow what you're trying to say. So, you need to revise some rules about plurals and possessives. Alright, so let's see what you said. Secondly, through part-time work, students gain independence, you don't need a comma here, and learn better communication skills, comma, especially those who are introverts. For example, recent empirical research by the UK government demonstrated that 70% of students enjoy working part-time as a result of decreased financial pressure and freedom of learning new skills, which opens gates for more career opportunities. Therefore, it is conclusively clear there is a considerably strong support to be made in favor of students working in part-time jobs to lessen the pressure associated with money and to improve necessary skills for later life. Okay, those sentences were kind of long. They were okay, though. You noticed that I didn't correct your apostrophes because I've already done it. I'm not going to do it again. Let's see. Okay, fine. It was fine, except for that one little thing I mentioned earlier. It was fine. Let's move on. On the other hand, students lose interest in further studies to learn extra money. Okay. And even neglect. No, that doesn't work. This sentence is grammatically wrong and creates incoherence. So let's fix it. So what you said in this previous paragraph is that there are benefits to working part-time, right? So if you want to use this, etc., etc., cannot be overstated, you need to completely rephrase this sentence. So, on the other hand, okay, not on the other hand, so you can't use on the other hand because you didn't use on the one hand above. So here, let's say something a little different. Let's see. While the benefits of working part-time are clear, the disadvantages brought about by part-time work cannot be overstated. Okay, that's how you have to do it. This is largely because students engaged in part-time work struggle to find a balance between work and study. For example, research by Oxford University Nova proved that students who prioritize work over study lost interest in their education which often results in, get rid of the two, dropping out from schools, again, no apostrophe, or university. Okay, thus, students who work part-time while studying considerably students who work have a negative effect on their career growth. Okay, well, you didn't really say that the career growth. You said that basically they drop out of university, and so what the negative effect is actually on their education. So it could lead to their career, right? But not necessarily, because maybe, you know, they would have a wonderful career without a university education. So you have to link these together a little better. Okay. Let's see. Again, with the I'll tell you what. Hang on. I'll tell you what the other problem is. Let's read your conclusion first. In conclusion, from the arguments examples given, the advantages of working part-time are always beneficial. However, students should not forget the consequence of neglecting studies. Okay. Basically, Priya, let's talk about a few things here. Number one, your conclusion is still not clear. It's like you're in the middle, but you can't be in the middle. You're not allowed to be in the middle because they asked something very clearly. Do the benefits outweigh the disadvantages? I don't know, according to you, if they do or don't. Because you didn't answer it. You just said, while there are disadvantages, there are advantages. So an examiner is going to say, okay, well, this is just partially answered. I don't know. Okay? And you don't want that to happen. Now, let's talk about another problem here. The other problem is that this was underdeveloped. Okay? Let me tell you why. Because, look at this. It says benefits, disadvantages. I know what the benefits are. You told me they're multiple. You said that they gain money and they gain independence, they gain communication skills, etc., etc. Here, though, you only talked to me about one disadvantage, and that is going to appear like an underdeveloped essay, like a partially developed essay, and that is going to lower your task achievement score. So, if it says advantages, if it says disadvantages, you have to give more than one and more than one. Also, I'm going to say it again. Whatever this command here is, you have to address it and answer it in the introduction. All right? And you have to answer that, not kind of like this somewhere in the middle kind of situation, but you have to actually say if the advantages are stronger or not. All right, let's move on. We have a task 1 here. This looks tiny. Why is it so tiny? Let's see. 127 words, Priya. So that will really drop your score down. And it looks, like I said, it looks tiny. Now, I realize that there's not a lot of information in this task 1. By the way, it would really be helpful if you could just copy and paste the image in your answer so that I can refer to it in my correction. There are ways to extend your answer in something like this, and we're going to talk about those today. Okay, so let's see. The pie chart illustrates information on 7 different school subjects that are most popular in Germany. Okay, not are, but were, because it's 2017. Overall, it is clear that subjects history and PE represent, no S, the largest proportion, whereas IT is undoubtedly the smallest. Fine, clear, no problems. According to the pie chart, students in Germany liked history and PE in the year 2017. These subjects were the highest among all the others. Okay, now look at what you did here. You lumped PE and history together. Why? You have to stretch this out. So in a situation like this, you need to you need to stretch it out. So separate them rather than just lumping them together. You could have talked about, you said this, more than 20%. Okay, well, tell me about their differences. So tell me that history was 22.4 and that PE was 22.9. I think those are the numbers. I really can't remember. But you have to give that information, all right? This will help stretch out your answer and kind of extend it a little further. Okay, the second, they're not largest subjects. You want to talk about the proportion. So the second largest proportions, the second largest, well, not even second really, it's the third largest if you think about it truly. So the third largest proportion was for maths. All right, again, separate these. Grouping like this is only effective when you have a ton of information. Okay, so when you have a ton of information, yeah, you do have to do something like this make sure you include everything, but kind of group things together in a way that's meaningful. This is not helping you here, though, because as I said before, you have an under word count answer. Okay, let's see. Yeah, you have to stretch these out. By contrast, IT had only 3.7%, while this percentage was the least of the total. In this year, only 7% of students were interested in biology. Interestingly, German schools had, that doesn't make sense grammatically. German schools had a small percentage of students preferring geography, with only 6.4%. Okay, so what you needed to do here, apart from what I already suggested here, is you also needed to make some connections. You needed to make some, what's the word I want to use? You need to make some comparisons, okay? So you really missed a great opportunity in these first two that were like 22 point something. Look at this. You could have said that biology was just 1/3 of the most popular subject, okay? Because that's like a 300% difference. So you have to make those kinds of connections. Where's the other one? Here it is, IT. IT was the least popular, and it was just 1/7. It had 1/7 the proportion of the two highest. So we're talking about really big differences here, and that's going to make this data really more meaningful. You're going to be like, wow, look at that. The difference between the most popular and the least popular was like 7 times. So that's information that's really useful to include, and it really kind of beefs up your answer and gives it more substance. All right, Priya, go ahead, correct these. Let's see them corrected, and let's see you applying some of these suggestions in your next essay, okay? Good luck to you.